Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is the wonderful Joe Russell.
Hi, I'm so excited for this. I'm so hyped.
It's taken 5 weeks, Joe. We're at the end of the 5th week, and I'm like, finally, I've got an episode that I'm absolutely dying to jump on the podcast, and Dave's not even here. So
I know. He'll be fuming. Like tomorrow's podcast when he's back, he'll just want to go over to this episode as well. He will. I know he will.
Yeah, he will. He'll be going mad when he listens to this. But honestly, thank you again for coming on, and great feedback. Everyone was, I think it's one of them, and it's different because it's always us two, me and Dave, two blokes talking, and we have a laugh about that. But just to have a lady's perspective on it as well, and pretty much you're the same as us anyway with most of the things. It was just great fun.
Oh, good. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, especially after the only good episode of the series.
So, as the guest, where would you like to start?
I don't know, because there's too much. There's so much to unpack. Oh, God, where do we start? Do we start with Olivia? Do we start with Ron? Do we start with Shaq or Tanya? I don't know. What I would like to say at first is, again, like I said on yesterday's episode, Ron is annoying. He is going to win this bloody thing, and he is a massive shit stirrer. On the episode yesterday, like this is before all the whole recoupling nonsense, he is saying to Tom, for example, Sammy won't come back on her own. So you might as well go with someone else. And he wanted everyone else to recouple except him because he's a massive shit stirrer. And I do not need him to win. I can't have him winning, Chris.
No, he cannot win. And I agree. He did a bit of a Jake there, didn't he? It was very subtle, or not as obvious as Jake, when Jake was literally pushing everyone forward, going, get in there, give her a kiss. You know, he was very, very subtle what he did. But yeah, great TV again.
It's such good telly, but the way that Ron, like when they were all recoupling, and we, of course, we'll go over each one, I'm sure, by themselves. But when Casey, for example, was talking about, the fact that he had kissed somebody else, Ron is giving Casey dirty looks like he's never done anything wrong in his whole life. In fact, do you know what, Chris? This whole episode made me think, girls think it's okay for girls to cheat, but boys are not allowed to. And boys think it's okay for boys to cheat, but girls are not allowed to. Oh, what a load of twats.
You know what, Joe? You've not been reading my notes, but I've said the same thing in my notes. I put, why is it okay that the guys who, they come in and they're cheating, but as soon as one of the boys gets cheated on, they're up in uproar, and the girls are the same. And I'm like, I just put you bunch of fucking hypocrites. Like, it's just like...
They're all the same. Like when Tanya came in with Martin at the end, Kai's face. And I was like, but you've done the same thing. You've done the same thing. You're all of them were doing it. All of them were shocked if the opposite sex did it. Oh my God, it drove me crazy.
Oh, so good, Joe. So I tell you what, let's start with some of the not the lower ones, but we'll build up, I think, then. Let's do that. So Casey does his thing, doesn't he? Casey's there, got Cynthia there, he's had a connection with, and she looked absolutely petrified. Obviously Maya Jama comes in, all hail the Queen. She comes in and they were like, can you stand over here, please, ladies? And when we go for it, and it's pretty bad the way they do it. It's like a bloody firing squad or something, isn't it? It's really bad. And you can see poor Cynthia's there, and she's like, and he's going, well, I'm going to stick with this, blah, blah. And then he was saying, well, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to have to wait and see. And I'm like, no. And then the girls are like, what a prick. And then obviously he picks Claudia comes in, Cynthia's fuming. I thought Claudia come off really bad in this episode because she didn't seem to give two shits about Casey copping off with Cynthia and the other girl who I can't remember the name. And I'm like, she's in there for herself. She don't give a fuck about Casey. I'm on holiday. I'm in this for the fame. And she's not the only one, I'm sure we're. But I thought Claudia was pretty bad what she did tonight.
Well, I liked her. I'm sorry, but I liked Claudia. And I the other girl, whoever it was that Casey had been kissing, I thought she was out of order. Like, she's known Casey for 2 days. He has not made any promises to her. He has always said, I'm here to just see what happens. And I actually thought that Claudia was bang on, because I thought that she knows that she's not been with Casey forever, and she doesn't really have, we're not married here, and she doesn't really have any claim to him, but they had both decided to stay together. And the fact that Casey had kissed a few people, I think in their circumstances is okay. He'd been with Claudia for about 2 minutes, and he's decided he wants to still try with Claudia. And I think I liked her. I actually like them as a couple. I'd quite like them to win.
Oh, Joe, get out. It's all over. It's all over. No. I'm not having that. I thought that she was just playing the fame game. I thought the way Casey said it, you'd think they'd been together for about fucking 6 years. He was like, oh yeah, I really want to there's just something between us. What is between you? Fuck all. Nothing. A shitty date you went on that she went on with Tom. So I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, Joe.
I like them together, and I think they're quite sweet, and none of them really had any claim on each other. So the fact that he snogged a couple of girls, I don't think is too bad. I'm sorry, but I'm saying it out loud. And I actually, here's a prediction. They will still be together at Christmas. I said it out loud.
There is no chance of them being together. Not a chance.
Let's wait and see, Chris. Let's wait and see.
Okay, fair enough. So the next couple who, we got to, I'm going to just go with the ones that weren't, there was a bit of control, not too much, but Tom and Sammy, we're very similar. Tom's there. He kissed Lydia, the Scottish girl. There was a bit of a connection. Sammy comes in. She's made up. Oh, it's great. They kiss. Tom's there. And then Tom does a Liam. And it's like, again, I'm testing myself. I wanted to see if I could do it. And it's like, one, it's disrespectful to Sammy anyway. Why? They all use this tagline. Like, it's almost as if they've gone into war or something. You know what I mean? Like, the way they speak is pathetic. It's an absolute cop-out. And then at the end of it, fair play to Sammy. She's like, I don't fucking think so. You know what I mean? Like, because normal people, you cannot have your partner going and copping off with other people. I know Love Island's different and stuff, but she said, I didn't kiss anybody outside one of the challenges, so they're not finished. And I must admit, I was like, oh, this is great. Finally, we're going to get some shit. So what did you think of all that?
But, I liked what Lydia said, because I think Lydia had her head screwed on who kissed Tom, because she was like, oh, well, you know what? It is what it is. And I wish you all the best. Good luck. Because, again, she's known him for 48 hours.
Yes.
And she has no claim on him. And what I didn't like about the new girls was that they were all after a bit of airtime, I think. And they were all like, oh, I'm so outraged. They knew what they had to come in and do. And that was snog whoever would let them snog them so that they could stay in the villa. And I think that they were, I mean, I know they have to say who snogged who, because that's part of the game, of course. Yeah. But this outrage that they all had, and the tears from some of them, were just like, oh, piss off. You knew what you were getting into. You've not won the prize, guys. So I thought Lydia was quite adult about it and was like, okay, fair enough. We had a minute, but it's not worked out. Good luck to you both. And she was quite adult about it. Whereas Sammy had a freaking face like thunder. So yeah, who knows whether they are going to. But now, that I'm a Tom fan anyway. And can I just point out here, Chris, that Tom never wants to hurt anyone. And he's just a nice guy.
Are you working for his PR team, Joe? What's going on here?
When he said that, I was like, you've said that now about 10 times in this series.
Yeah.
And you keep hurting people. So shall we learn a lesson now, Tom, or not?
That's brilliant, Joe. And you're right. He said something like, I've never been so nervous until I took a penalty. Since the last time I took a penalty. And I'm like, oh, my God, mate. Come on. Get over it.
Chris, were you nervous at the recoupling? Because I was proper nervous. I loved it so much. I was so hyped for this episode, and it didn't let me down. I felt nervous for them.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was so good. And I must admit, it kept panning to bloody Shaq, didn't it? And it was like, Shaq is getting more nervous and he's probably going, why the hell has Tanya not come out? And we knew about, I want to talk about the end actually, but yeah, I did keep pissing myself laughing. That producer's got this right for a change with this episode. Yeah. But I do say, definitely. I want your opinion on Will, because I know obviously we've talked about him and you're saying about Will, he's a good guy. And I think he's a good guy, but I'll tell you what a way to fucking turn it round on yourself to get out of that. You know, he said to Maya Jama about a test, you know, oh, it's a test. I was like, oh, fuck off. A test. Here we go. She comes back in, Jessie. He's got Layla up there. Now, Layla was a bit gobby. She had a pop at a few of the girls, didn't she, as this episode went on? She was the voice of reason for the Casa girls. And he's there talking. Jessie comes in. I'm calling bullshit on Jessie now completely because Will's there, full Academy Award. We've got fucking tears. He had an onion under his eyes. I'm sure he had it under his fingernails to get the tears coming out. And then Jessie's going, oh, Will, no, don't worry. It's fine. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. And he's absolutely played a blinder because she doesn't care about him. It's pretty obvious by this reaction. And I wasn't having it. Yeah, she was the same. You could see her rubbing her eyes going, please show me some tears. I need tears now. Because it was just, I thought it was fake, Joe. I'm sorry. And I cannot believe that Will is going to come out of this one unscathed. What a play.
I don't know if he's going to come out of it unscathed, you know. I think that she, like I said yesterday, she knows this game inside out. I think that she is biding her time so that she gets more screen time in another episode, because they were not holding hands. He did not have his arm around her. There is still beef with them that we've got to see. But my favorite thing about the whole Will thing was, if you look back at this episode, Maya Jama, when she was talking to Will, looked fucking furious with him. It's like she was giving him evils, and I was like, oh my God, she's going to turn on him any second now, and I loved it. But I do have to say, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite myself, but Will has just made a little mistake, right? I think, like I said yesterday, I think he's just made a silly error. I don't think it was premeditated, and I don't think he's an arsehole. I think he's made a silly mistake, and I think she'll forgive him, and I think they'll make it to the final. Yeah,
I think so. This is definitely, definitely, as Dave said, it's the Liam and Millie play, isn't it? Go over, you know, you've had tested a bit of cheating, and then they ride off into the sunset. But again, great TV, Joe. I'm sat there like, I can't believe he's played a blinder here. He's absolutely, when she started and you're right, she may give him, with the airtime, she may give him an almighty bollocking that we'll all see and everything. And maybe the other Islanders don't. But at that point, as soon as she went, there, Will, I'm like, oh my God, he has absolutely done her here. Like just, great TV again.
Did you believe his tears, though? Did you not believe their tears?
I didn't believe any of it. I didn't believe her tears. I thought she was trying to force her tears out. He's there rubbing his eyes. Please, come on. I'm just like, fuck off. You know, but
you're so cynical, Chris.
I am the reality radar, Joe. I have to be. I'm sorry. But so I've got to talk these two main events of the evening now. The two main events for me were Kai and Sanam. I thought that before we did the full recoupling, they're having a chat. Kai's got an actual personality. He's had no personality with Olivia, with any of the other girls. It's been very monotone. I've slated him. You know, he lives locally to me. I think the accent's grated on him because I think, oh my God, I must sound the same because it's from where I live. And I've just not taken to him at all. You know, I genuinely haven't. But I tell you what, he spoke very well. Sanam's laughing. She's got a great personality. She actually seems like a really nice girl. When he picked her, and he's like, I've got to go with the heart and everything. And some of the girls, like Claudie's, like looking, giving him the side eye. And I'm like, let's just wait and see. And then he said, I pray Olivia has got with someone. And Olivia comes in. And I was going to say it to you yesterday, and I was gutted I didn't say it because she came in with her face like a pan of piss, didn't she? She came in and she was just like fuming. And she's like, oh, yeah, typical. I'm like, what in the world of hypocrisy am I fucking watching? And then decided to dig him out. Well, fucking Maxwell stood next to her. Did she want Kai to be on his own to show him what you've lost? It was like, so you can do to him, but he's not allowed to do to you. Again, unbelievable. But I was fuming. I was like, you are taking the piss. And any opportunity to dig him out. And he'd said he was dead happy for she coming. He went, oh, thank God for that. I'm so pleased for her. Oh, no, she wasn't. And she's like, you even put that thing in my case. I'm like, but you stood next to Max. What are you on? So, unbelievable.
I was, oh my God. That's the thing that made me, I was fuming. I was like, because it's people like Olivia that give us girls a bad name. We are not like that. God, please tell me we're not like that.
No, you're not.
How dare she come back with somebody? She should have come back and gone like he did. Oh, okay, we both realised there's something else with someone. Good luck to you. She should be relieved, like he was, that he had somebody like she did, because how dare she stand there going, oh, well, obviously everything you've said was a lie. Yeah, okay, but what about you fucking dumb bitch? Oh, sorry, my language is terrible. But it's true. It's like, I don't know how she dare. I just don't know how she thinks she's going to get away with that. And all it did, which she needs to watch out for, all it did was take Kai from this, we're not bothered about him, he's always in the bottom three, to actually, Kai, you and Sanam could make the final because we want rid of Olivia. We need to get rid of her because he's now coming across as the decent one who's actually quite a happy, seems like a nice bloke now.
Yes.
And like you say, he's got a personality. She has come across like, and she's one of the oldest in there. She should freaking know better. Like, it's so horrible what she did. It's so, and when she went, oh, a leopard never changes his spots.
I know.
About Tom. I was like, no, you have done what Tom's done, and you have done what Kai's done now. You are all, why can't you see that you have done the same?
Oh, it was brilliant.
She's got to go. She's got to go. It
has to. And I agree, because what made me laugh is it kept reminding me of the guy out of Step Brothers, when there's that meme. It's not actually out of Step Brothers, he's the actual actor, and he's got the curly hair with all the equations above his head, and it's like, make it make sense. He's just like, how are you? And then what annoyed me, she turned around to him and went, well, you know, there was a reason you're in your bottom three. I'm like, no, because you want to be Mrs. Influencer. You'll be there at the opening of a fucking packet of crisps if you can be there, Olivia, at the end of this. Fuck off, you absolute narcissistical hypocrite. Unbelievable. So I thought, you know what?
Terrible, but what I quite liked about Kai that was actually quite endearing was like, yes, he was absolutely exasperated. He was like, oh, but he didn't even know how to phrase it. He was just looking at her like, you're with someone. I don't know what to say. Like, he could not get his words out half the time because he just couldn't understand how she could be firing at him when she was stood with another man.
Yeah.
There are no words, Chris, that can describe what a twat she was.
I'm so glad, though, as a lady, you're laying into her, because obviously, as guys, you know, we have to be not careful, but you've got to be like, oh, you're just sticking up for the guys who've been accused of that in the past. And usually we're not. We just go back. But so it's refreshing that you've gone on a proper rant there. I'm loving this, Joe, because
I hate to think that men think, oh, women are like that. They can never see it, because she is just one of like you say, so hypocritical, and I can't bear it. And she's older than the other ones. I get it if they're kids. I get it. Like, they don't know, and people say things in anger and they're all a bit bitter sometimes and blah. We've all done it, fine.
Yeah, of course we have.
She's 27 or whatever she is. Fuck off. She makes me angry. She makes me angry because I don't know what likability she's got at all.
No,
I can't
not
find one thing.
No.
No, exactly. She should have come in and said, oh, fair enough. I'm sad that it's not worked out between us, Kai, but we've both found somebody. And they should have had a hug and said good luck. I mean, we're supposed to be adults, Jesus.
No, you're right, because I ended up being hashtag Team Kai then. And I think that, you know, she's just, brilliant. I mean, what a contestant, completely not aware. That's exactly what we need, Joe, because the way we're going for it today, unfortunately, even though in the real world, you'd be like, you are you are just not somebody I want to be with. On Love Island, you're like, well, actually, you're perfect contestant. We wouldn't have anything to talk about. So I agree. I was totally dumbstruck with that. And online, there's been articles on her, and everyone's like, Love Island. I saw one before. I think it was a Daily Mirror. Love Island fans baffled by Olivia's outburst, and I'm reading it, going, everyone, and it's got quotes from Twitter. And then I'm looking on Twitter before, and everyone's like, I do not understand what she's going on about. So Kai, class acts, and I just keep going, but I thought the way he delivered it, I'm happy for you. I don't know what your problem is. He said, I don't get it. So brilliant. So we'll see. I reckon we're going to see now. We'll see whether she was trying to make him jealous and that was the play. I don't know, but it didn't work anyway. It's great. But so, yeah, I'll tell you what we did get then, Joe. We did get the fucking love story that nobody fucking cares about. Ron and Lana. We got the whole fucking Richard Gere bollocks. All he needed was a fucking navy suit on and then sweep her up off her feet. What a load of crap. It was fucking rubbish. And Lana's still walking in as if to say, is he still with someone? What's going on? And I was just like, oh my God. And it's just, he was tested and he passed the test. What did he fucking do? Oh,
it's funny though, isn't it? Because I feel like Lana, like, oh, I don't know, is he with somebody? Is she still unsure? Yeah. And I feel like she will get a whole world of confidence out of this, not realizing that out of sight, out of mind, as soon as he gets out of this villa and gets a bit of attention, there may be another story to be told here. Like I don't know whether she calculatedly knows this will get her to the final, or whether she really does like him. I can't quite work out whether she's a bit like, oh well, this will get me there, because she actually seems like quite a sweet girl.
Yeah, I agree. She does. She seems like she's got her head screwed on. And I praised her when she had a go at Ron for saying, "Don't say to me," and we both said that. Me and Dave, and show you the same. Like, don't tell me what I want to hear, and then you're going to do something else. So fair play. So the last couple, Joe, is Tanya and Shaq. And should I say the triangle is Tanya, Shaq, and Martin. So at the start of the episode, Shaq says he's missing her. He loves her. Tanya's dialogue was so strange with the girls because she says, I'm in love with Shaq in the villa, but I really like, Martin and what he brings to him and brings his personality, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, well, this is strange. And the more the episode went on, I was like, she's definitely bringing Martin back. She's definitely bringing Martin back. Like, you messaged me and I was like, I think Martin could be coming back here. And when he came in, what got me was he comes in and Shaq's just like absolute jaw on the floor, like, fucking hell, I knew it. I thought there was something wrong. But it was her dialogue of her. And she just went, and she it was like she was trying to make him jealous or so. I mean, a lot of people I've seen online, there's a massive backlash saying that it was set up, that the producers forced her to bring him in. And then they'll be back together within like a couple of episodes, which you've seen before with other couples. It was her dialogue of, well, we've not had any speed bumps. And I'm thinking, what? Is this a speed bump? You bring another guy back? You're sharing a bed with some other guy? What is the play here? Are you hoping that Shaq's going to be so jealous that, what's the play? So I do think it's a bit too suspicious. And I do think they're probably going to get back together because it's the journey, Joe. So let's see.
I tell you what, I was a bit surprised at how she was phrasing things, because I was thinking, this is actually quite disrespectful to Martin, because what you're making it sound like is, I've just brought somebody back in just to see whether I still like you, Shaq, and I'll probably get back with you anyway. That was like, the tones were like that. And I was like, you stood next to the man that you've brought back. Are you aware that you're stood next to this man? And I loved Shaq. Shaq, I've been up and down with him because of his choice of words to her at some stages. And, I think he's made a few mistakes in how he's spoken to her at times. But when she said, oh, well, if it's right, we'll get back together. And he said something like, oh, no, I'm done. It's over. Like, I am done. And I think you're wrong. I don't think he'll let her back. Because I think he out of all of them has got this huge male pride, and he was already pissed off at the ex-boyfriend comment, and I don't think his pride can take, I told you I loved you, but I have snogged another man, I'm been in another man's bed, and I might also get back with you. So I don't think Shaq can take it. Now, whether he does for the sake of I need to get to stay in the villa. I'm not sure, but it doesn't feel like he'll take her back. I'll be surprised if he takes her back, and I don't want him to, because she is also a shower of shite. Like, genuinely, I was just like, what are you talking about? And right there and then, Martin should have said, oh, if that's the way you're talking about me, might not stay in your bed tonight. Like, somebody needs to, on one of these shows, Chris, somebody needs to have a little bit of self-respect. And it feels like no one does. It's like, okay, I just want to stay in. I want to be on telly. I want to stay in. But you will be much more famous, more talked about if you fucking stand up for yourself and go, no, this is not right. Actually, this is not right. I want to be treated better. And none of them do. Because I didn't think Martin was treated very well last night. Although he has got one of those faces that looks like he doesn't give a shit either.
Yeah, well, you know what, Joe? I think you're right, because he was like, you could see his body language was just shifting to the right of her, as if to say, oh, thanks very much for that. But again, I think he knows he's playing a game. So I don't buy the whole thing and the vibe and everything that Tanya was talking about. I've not seen any connection between the pair of them. However, Shaq has done some questionable things at times. So I get it. If this is her only way of giving him the ick, so they just call it a day, then fair play. But what great TV again. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm just pleased that they didn't hang half of it over for tonight's episode, because I kept looking at the clock going, oh no, there's still time for Tanya to come back. There's still time. I thought it might be a bit of a cliffhanger. But what's interesting, Chris, and I'm so here for it, is they've not even shown us a teaser about tonight.
No.
And that makes me go, oh my God. Are they still editing it because it's that horrific that they don't know which bits to show us? In my head, that's what they're doing. Why haven't they shown us?
Well, it's got to be Miss Moral fucking Conscience Olivia. She's got to be in the thick of all of it, hasn't she? She's going to go around and just lay into Kai at every opportunity, isn't she? There's just going to be, I cannot wait, Joe. I'm with you.
I mean, me too. There has to be the biggest row between all of them, because the minute Maya Jama goes and then they all start just stomping off to different corners and fire pits and stuff, there has to be a big moment where somebody says to Olivia, but you have done the fucking same, you dim cow. Like, someone has to. It might be Tom. I don't know who it's going to be, because I think Shaq's too preoccupied. It can't be him. But someone's got to say to her, whether they shout it in a row or whether they take her to one side and say, look, love, I'm sorry, but because Love Island can't get away with not showing somebody pointing this out to her. They have to.
Yeah, there must be. There must be. So, and you know what? I can't wait. I hope that she sits there squirming when they do. Someone's got to tear a strip off her slightly, and they just check her attitude, I think, and her whole personality at time. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Chris, your reality radar is way off. Do you think she's going to squirm? Or do you think she's just going to fucking double down and think she's amazing? Because there's going to be no squirming from Olivia, because she doesn't give a shit. She can't. She's got no self-awareness.
Well, that's true, actually. She'd just be like, well, I don't know what he's talking about, actually. I think I'm right. Yeah, we'll get all that, won't we? Fucking mumbling. Oh, my God. Get some manners. So, Joe, we have had 3 emails, and 2 of them are praising you and their address. So
I'm here for it.
Yes. So the first one's from Nikki, and it says, entitled Ron, Love Island. Hi, Chris, Dave, and Joe. Sorry, Dave. No. Dave said he feels like he's being forced out. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is, mate. I'm sorry. I agree. Ronnie's playing a game, but for a different reason. Ron knows the public vote that him and Lana are popular. Based on this, he's hanging on proving his loyalty to win the fans round. He also knows if he cheats, he'll be out as soon as the public votes come around and lose out on the deals after the show. Also surprised that Mr. Moral Shaq had nothing to say about the other boys cracking on. Given the shit he gave Ron, it's interesting that he said nothing to the boys. Loved having Joe on as a special guest today too. Can't wait to see the extra beds after recoupling tonight, Nikki. So, Joe, very high praise again.
That's very nice. I wonder, though, if Shaq has said something, but there was too much footage. There's just been too much to put in. You know what I mean? Because all the ones that were going to recouple, they had to include footage to make it a storyline. And I don't imagine for 1 second that Shaq doesn't have an opinion on that, because whatever he has said to Tanya and how he's phrased things and things he's got wrong, I do believe he's got morals in that respect.
Yeah.
I believe him, and I believe when he was trying to tear Ron down, I believe he meant it. And yes, it's got him a lot of airtime, but he seemed to mean it. He seemed to actually care that Ron was hurting Lana. So it does make me wonder whether he has said these things, but it's not been shown. But I mean, we'll never know that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Joe. And oh, amazing. So we've got another email. This one's from Helen. Casa are more suspicions. Hi, Chris and Dave, or Joe. Writing before the recoupling, so hopefully there's some drama at last. Been thinking about something Joe said, that Ron has only been faithful to Lana because no one hit on him. Totally agree. What I'm suspicious of is why. It's a total producer fix, in my opinion. Previously, every bombshell who came into the villa wanted to couple up with Ron or take him on dates. Then suddenly, Casa Amor happens and no one's interested. ? Not buying it. Clear the producers protecting Lana and Ron as their favourite couple, and that all the new girls and boys coming in for Casa phase are either told who to pursue or chosen to take part specifically because of the who they fancy. There are no deserving couples to the win this season, just a bunch of bellends. Give the prize money to Chris and Dave instead of ITV. Now, they don't mention you, Joe. I'm sorry, it's a 50 for the slips with me and Dave. Keep up the great work, Helen.
It's funny, though, because I remember Dave saying on a previous episode something like, look, we know that the producers are telling them stuff, but it's in the back of my mind, but I just don't want to focus on it as though it's everything. And I'm with Dave. Like, I still want to suspend a little bit of that in my brain, going, all right, but some of it might be natural, some of it might be okay. I mean, you just don't know. But I hate thinking it's all set up and it's all staged, because then it feels pointless. You know, I need to suspend a bit of reality, I think.
I think tonight was the first time I actually felt real. That's probably why we enjoyed it. It did feel like everyone was sticking the knife into everyone. So the next one.
But you know what's funny though, Chris, is that I read autobiographies. When I read a book, I love a good book. I read autobiographies rather than fiction. And the reason for that is that real life is actually weirder, funnier, more outrageous than any fiction. And I think that if the Love Island producers, please listen to this podcast, if they just like set up, don't get me wrong, put people in different scenarios, but didn't force them to do stuff or tell them what to do, they would get better drama. They have to put them in Casa Amor, and they have to do a future episode on what people are tweeting, or showing them videos of stuff. Like, they're my favourite episodes, I'm not going to lie. But real life, if they just let them be real, they would get better shows, much better.
Yeah, it would. I agree with that. I agree. We've actually got two more emails, actually, Joe. One's just came in, so I'm going to read the quick one. This one's from Abby. Well, first of all, who the hell does Olivia think she is? Doing exactly the same thing as Kai. She's the game player. That's why she's stuck with Kai. I think his feelings were genuine. She, on the other hand, doesn't give a fuck about Kai. Jessie crying, where were the tears? Hand over her face again like Olivia. She doesn't care that Will messed up because she doesn't have real feelings towards him and just wants to win. Oh, that's very, what I'd said as well. Abby, well done. I like that. If you have so-called... if you have so-called feelings for someone, you'd be fuming if your man kissed another girl. Lastly, I love how Shaki's standing his ground. Martin's speech was just about how he's glad to be there. Nothing about Tanya. He just wanted to away into the villa. So I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
And the next one is from Anto. And I'm going to do, as a wrestling fan from the old school wrestling, it's a great email, this, but there's loads of pictures, unfortunately, which I can't show on the screen, but it's great. So he's put, and in the right honourable words of the great JR, business has just picked up. That's a terrible accent. Wow, we have just waited 4 weeks for an episode like this. Quick note, if I hear the word test one more time, I'm going to jump out the window. Casey and Claudia thought he was going to recouple because it's like he and Claudia were only together for 2 days. So it wouldn't hurt as much if they found someone else. But like Tom, he's going to have a lot of explaining to do. Kai, Sanam and Olivia I genuinely think Kai has found someone in Sanam that he actually likes, but leave it to Olivia to make it all about her. I knew she was going to act like that from how she kept talking about Kai in the casa. The boys' reactions were priceless. It was like, what the fuck? They were so confused as she had done the same thing. I felt like Maxwell was an afterthought and was just standing there like, when the two of them were having their back and forth. I think she'll bin him off with Olivia. I think she lacks self-awareness and wants to be the main character, but it's just not happening. But what if all of this bravado is because she actually does really like Kai and she's shocked and hurt that he picked someone else? I don't know. But Tom and Sammy, I sort of feel like I wasn't surprised either way because Tom's decision, because of everyone, I sort of cared the least about their couple. But again, what came back to bite Tom in the ass was kissing another girl. He's basically the Ellie situation all over again. And I actually respect Lydia for saying that his excuse was shit, as the other girls didn't need to kiss people to know they wanted to stay with their villa boy. Will and Jesse, at least Will came out and just straight up said he wasn't loyal to Jesse. But I do think a massive part of that was him thinking Lydia was got to put him on blast anyway, so got out in front of it. This gave me Andrew from last year with Coco vibes because Andrew did not show any signs of strain. And then in his own words, he sucked Coco's tit or whatever. I think he can bring it back, but it will be hard work because I think he has hurt Jesse. Listen, if Liam can bring it back with Millie, like Liverpool in Istanbul, now there's no need for that, Anto, and win the show, then I think we'll have a chance. Now, if he'd said United in 99 against Bayern Munich, I'd accepted that. Like my favourite basketball player, Kevin Garnett, said after doing the NBV finals, anything is possible. Shaq and Tanya, I knew the moment Shaq started talking and the cameras panned to the girls, it was all over. Their faces said it all. Good on Shaq for sticking to his guns and being loyal. I think when Tanya saw him by herself, it really hit her and she felt terrible. She was almost trying too hard behind Martin, like she was Molly May hiding behind the plants. I think that's a throwback. I think she would try to get back with Shaq, though, and try to make Shaq feel bad if he doesn't want to talk to her. She kept saying it's not over, and every couple has bumps in the road, which should be sending red flags to Martin. I hope she doesn't try to use him saying I love you against him, as you often see people on the show state you can't turn your feelings off if they're genuine. Apologies for the super long email, because imagine others may have chimed in because of tonight's episode. As always, you guys do an amazing job. So thank you, Anto. Great email, that, Joe.
Fantastic. Yeah, but it just reminds me of Tanya. It's not over. Then why are you stood next to another man? Like,
unbelievable.
What do you mean it's not over? It's so crazy.
Brilliant. As always, if you want to follow us on social media at CD RealityCast, if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to go over to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast, we're nearly at 480 people over there. Thank you, everyone. What a great community we've got. Everyone's getting involved. The chat feature, a couple of people have asked me where the chat is. It should come up, flag up in your message requests on Facebook. So have a look at your message requests, guys. If it doesn't, just give me a nudge on Facebook and we'll try and make sure you can find it for you if you want to get involved. But again, as I said, there is spoilers on there. If you do want to support us a little bit more, get over to patreon.com/CD RealityCast. And I will also be on representing our wonderful podcast on the BBC Three Counties show tonight with Babs Michelle around about 7:15. So if you are there, I will not be swearing, guys, but I will be talking to Babs as well because she loves a bit of Love Island. So again, massive thanks to Jo. She's been an absolute star standing in this week, and Mr. Horrocks will be back very soon. So today's roll call of honour is, and welcome to Nicola. Thank you, Nicola, one of our newer Patreons. We do appreciate your support, Nicola, so thank you. We've got Nicola Schmave, music, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Kate, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Gillian, Michelle, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Chloe, Noreen, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy, Tracy, Lucky Luna Green, Lauren, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. So, Joe, massive thank you for coming on this week, as always. It's so nice of you. Really appreciate it. And we're definitely going to have you on. We'll try and get you on with me and Dave so you can both gang up on me then as the Casamorians.
It's a pleasure. What I would like you and Dave to do, though, in the next episode is to predict now who's going to win. Okay.
We will do that because we will be speaking very soon, I think. But no, thank you, Joe. Where can everyone get hold of you again? What's the podcast called? And get over there, guys, and give Joe some support on that.
We are the Secret World of Slimming Clubs, which is only relevant to you if you are dieting. So maybe not you, Chris.
No, I am every day, Joe. Don't worry, I am every day. I need to listen. I apologise. I will come over.
That's okay.
Good stuff. So, Joe, thank you again, and we will see you soon.
See you soon.